Welcome. Pauses for dramatic effect. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the Liftoff Leadership Podcast. How was that introduction there? I always wanted to be that man's cup. As soon as I say, ooh, you know. I smelled something over to my left, and look who it is. Well, you smell nice.
100%. 100%. Excuse the pun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a sponsor. As they say, Manet. As we say, we have influenced this. And as it ties in with this week's law, the law of influence. How does it feel to be sponsored?
It smells nice. It feels nice.
Nou, Egne?
Smells nice, but feels bitter. I feel much bitter.
Ladies and gentlemen, the smell makes you feel worth something, I must say.
Do not despise these smells.
You wanted to say, ladies and gentlemen, do not despise these worldly gains. As we would know it in today's evening, we're going to call it marginal gains. I'm going to teach you a good thing tonight. We're also going to take you a little bit back because it's very important to let you know why we do what we are doing. And also to let you know that, yes, we will be here for another 1,000 weeks. So 5 of 1,000. My brother, you here again?
Yeah, it feels good to be back. It feels like home actually. I can't imagine what my Wednesday nights were like before this.
Something different?
Something completely different. It feels good.
In preparation for this evening, I told you, don't make so much notes. I just see 2 scriptures and a 2-liner. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I'm just going to allow myself to freestyle this evening. I have my notes,
I knew that
few things, a few questions, but leg out.
So as we go, we're going to create the segment of any feedback from last week?
From last week's session, feedback from myself, I enjoyed it a lot. Law of awareness, oh, you're crazy. For me it was my favorite one thus far because there was so much and we spoke so much on it and there was still more.
Oh yeah, I remember you were the.
It was.
And I was of the like, nah, we gave enough, and you were like, nah,
No, I agree we gave enough. I'm just saying like there was.
Oh, the law is.
The law. It's a very vast law. I enjoyed it.
The nice thing about everybody and us here going through it, like I've read both books. Daniel's going through them now, and so I've applied most of them, lived through them, still applying. I told my wife in the week, I can now choose in the book which law to go to. Unfortunately, you're not there yet, eh? But the nice thing of him, that's why he says most of the time the learning phase is the best phase. And that's why he's enjoying the process, whereas I'm now enjoying the practice.
Hey.
Yes, my brother. It says passion, purpose, practicality. So it's lekker to be in the passion and the purpose phase. But purpose to practicality becomes, it is that. It is a bit more difficult because now practice what you preach. I miss Barry White. I used to grand Barry. You know Barry White?
Yes, I know that song. I don't know the tune or the melody of the song, but I know you gotta practice what you preach.
You ear out. I wonder with your soul. I wonder with your soul, with the leather bars you came with in the week, you must prop them that one here on the body.
That one came straight off a cow.
Yeah, you can see there was still a couple of pieces of meat in there. But ladies and gentlemen, this evening feedback from me last week was, Fagan, awareness. Do you really have to take so much time into understanding yourself? And yes. Fortunately, that is the first step of the process. Like you have to be aware of yourself. And this is in anything you do. Like if you want to find some solace, very nice in meeting in the week with a community psychologist who's going to join us on the podcast soon, speak a bit about mental health and so forth. I have my views on mental health and about how self-development, this will assist you in that vein, but yet people, now it has been a diagnosis, as they say. But I do have my views. But I mean, speaking to him, it just shows that understanding yourself is the first step to any solace. When I say solace, is to contentment. When I say contentment, I mean happiness. And that set me free at the start of the year. I had a group of kids that was going into a very treacherous exam, and it was very difficult to be happy all the time. And then it was like happiness and contentment is exactly the same thing. So I think
joy. The word is joy, because happiness is a fleeting emotion, but joy is regardless of whether you can be. You don't need to be happy to be joyful. Like joy is something, it's a constant. It can be a constant. Joy is a state of being. Happiness is like, oh, I'm happy now, and then I'm not. I'm happy, I'm not. Whereas joy is that contentment. Joy is that contentment of, okay, this is where we're at.
See, the biblical speak, the joy in the morning.
Yeah, joy is a spirit. The spirit of joy.
The spirit of joy.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I popped it on my status. By the way, shout out to my son, 6 years old today. Happy birthday, young man. And I added to my status, thank you for the joy in the morning. And now it actually makes sense.
The joy in the morning. Yes, that's the joy in the morning. Because the thing is, I believe at least why they say there will be joy in the morning is because it doesn't mean the problems go away.
Yes. Don't they go away?
They don't go away, unfortunately.
Damn.
They'll be there tomorrow still. Or not the problems, because there's such a negative connotation. They say the challenges.
Correct.
The challenges of life. The things of life.
I like that. So the law of influencer, you obviously went down any rabbit hole there with it. You want to when you were going through the law of influence, I told you, there's one thing we're going to touch on again, which again from feedback of Fagan, can you please speak again about the levels of leadership? And the nice thing is we're jumping. Like I said, we go 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, and then we have the 15 invaluable laws of growth. So we're back by the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And the second one is the law of influence. And according to Mr. John C. Maxwell, and as we know, that's where our principles come from, leadership is influence, nothing more, and nothing less. Klaar. That's it. So without influence, you are not a leader, you are just occupying a position.
Oof. And I was thinking when I heard, okay, we're going into the law of influence, my train of thought was, who is influencing you and what is influencing you? And I was leaning a bit more towards the what is influencing you, because I'm thinking, what in terms of is circumstance influencing you? Are you being influenced by your emotions? Are you being influenced by your conditioned thinking? So that's more where I was thinking in terms of the influence. Like, I made it a bit more introspective.
Okay, I understand where you're at. And this is why you were telling me, like, who's leading you?
Yes.
Which was a good question, because that was like, who am I accountable to also? Because you can be running this race all the time, and sometimes you also knock leaders out the way. And that was my other thing, like, there's been a point of knocking people out the way because you're just moving too fast in every sphere. And when we talk about leadership, remember, leadership is everywhere. When you wake up in the morning, if you don't, this is how we determine if you are a leader or not. If you don't wake up tomorrow morning, will there be people that will be influenced? Yeah. And the answer is yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, you, me, everybody, we are all leaders, unfortunately for you. I'm Fagan, I'm your mentor, I'm here to help you people. It's about leading yourself well. When I do mentorship with under 10, from the ages of 8 years old to maybe 16, all of them I do 3 principles: leader, ladder, louder. So I teach them that leader, you are the leader. Whatever gets recorded gets rewarded. Who wakes you up in the morning? Do you wake you up? Do the alarm wake you up? Must your mommy shout, you must wake up? Must your wife shout, get up? Who wakes you up? That's the first point of leadership in the day. Second one is leader ladder. The ladder is
Every step is important.
every single step is important. Every time you go to training, everything you do and everything you
Say.
and everything you. But bro, didn't we practice this thing?
Everything
you do and everything you.
say.
Nee, everything you do and everything you don't do.
Oh, everything you don't do.
But bro, we need to get this right.
As jy het give me a hand gesture.
That is most enough. Everything you do, everything you don't do.
Don't do.
The ladder.
Syllables don't
Why
do.
did the leader bring the ladder to the room?
Because every step was important.
Because he wanted to climb to a higher level. But unfortunately, that's not how it works. You can't just bring a ladder to the room. Now we get to the next one. Leader, ladder,
Louder.
ladder driver. Sitting at the back.
The roll louder.
So you scream all the time, ladder driver. Everything you do is important. That is so beautiful because I dropped this for the kids today. Everything you do is important. So one of the kids had their book. Now Amos can't handle a stick. Donkey.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. Ladies and gentlemen, I brought this book this evening. This was when I thought I'm going to influence the trading world and take over like stuck JP markets. Thought I was stuck. Jason Noah spec. 2020. Kaboom. Man then wants to influence the trading world. Look here. What does it say here?
I am a master trader.
There's a picture of, this is my wife. So I like to show, like, when I go in, I go all in. Because how you do anything is how you do.
Everything.
Wow, thank you. That wasn't planned, you got that right. It's clear. And this is why people would appreciate your leadership or your influence. Sometimes you don't need to influence. Sometimes it's just your influence. They know, nah, wants this one to get involved. So yeah, nah, I had my hashtags. Do you want to read my 3 objectives? This is 2020, bro. I was the coach. And it was still Coach, what is that? Coach Professor Papa. Shout out to Cindy and Brian King for giving me the opportunity. Because besides, this is just knowledge. This was not very little. This was a lot of application, a lot of money lost also. But it was application and knowledge, but I don't think I found the purpose in it. Because if I look back now, passion, purpose and practicality, did the practicality, had the passion, but it didn't find the purpose because obviously trading, chasing the zakatele, and he's chasing you far away from you.
Yeah, what you pursue will elude you.
Yeah, because now you also look nowadays I catch Daniel also looking at the charts, looking at old trades, where to leave it running. Where it would have been now.
Like, for me, it's like, I put that in the back of my mind. Like, it's not going to go anywhere, man. For me, it's like, it's not going to go anywhere. So there's more pressing matters.
There's more pressing matters to do. Yo! So, I even had the Forex market time converter, and it was, when you're in the market, Fagan Miller, be objective. I think this always stands with me. Be a generational blessing. And then the most important line ever written by the master Stan Lee.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I mostly do the sale. Mostly die.
Because that's what happened in the movie was. That's what gave the movie the whole. Imagine he didn't, after he said that, it didn't have been as faster, you know what I mean? It was
now is this.
Exaggerating for
With great responsibility comes great power.
Yeah, flip the script. Script the flip.
And that, with great responsibility comes great power. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today...
That's a more proactive way of looking at it.
Because, what was I eating everybody with today? Life's not a dress rehearsal, eh? You must life it out now. Life the life. We all want to, yes, the afterlife is going to be, but you must
get through this one first.
You must get through this one, eh?
Yeah.
You got influence here, hey, pal?
This one is the one that prepares you for the for the post.
So let me hit you with a couple of reading. It says there are many myths concerning leadership that many people have brought into, and it's robbing them of their chance to be true leaders. For instance, leadership is usually associated with position in many societies and many occupations, unfortunately. Now, even John C. Maxwell had to ask us, he must go teach the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership to the army.
Yeah.
And the army only functions on positional leadership.
Yeah.
So it's making those who are in positional leadership also understand how you need to be a transformational leader. And that is in itself difficult because you have position already.
Yeah, you're already so rooted in that way of thinking.
Nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah, no one can take it away, and that's a dangerous place to be in. That nobody can take it away from you, because what if they do, and then you don't know who you are, because you put your identity in that one thing, and if you put your identity in anything that is fleeting, if it's taken away, then you have no identity.
And if your identity don't match the systems, you won't get the outcomes. And that's called the golden circle. So position does not make you a leader. Your position makes you a potential leader. And that's where people get the whole, why don't people respect me when I'm in a point of power? And so where we are now is that leadership is defined that without influence, you're just occupying a position.
I'm thinking now that position actually positions you to be a leader. So it's almost like an opportunity to lead. What are you going to do with the position that you were put in?
So if you want to influence, we spoke about last week, beautiful episode. And please check out the other episodes, or please go check out the Liftoff TikTok page. And the Liftoff TikTok is booming. Some nice short snippets there. You can pop it on your status also, just to get us going and booming. As you can see, 5 weeks in, ladies and gentlemen.
Ik ruik nou lekker.
This episode is sponsored by It Works. So, and we want to influence that there's another podcast of another sort, and somebody does it. So people aren't stupid. And this is actually the quiet thing. People aren't stupid. So there's a certain level of things they need to see before they start following you as a leader. And this is just people being people. Like, you can't detract from that.
It's character, man.
It is character. The word character is there. But now, if we remove character, and I'm going to add some other unfortunate things, is knowledge and experience. Now, let's talk about the two things. Knowledge. You go to college for knowledge. What is that whole rhyme thing? And you go to something for something.
Knowledge college, something like that, yeah.
I don't know what saying was that. But anyway.
Let me give you the knowledge college. That sounds like a Snoop Dogg. That's a Snoop Dogg line, yeah.
Nah, there was something else, man. But anyway, I'll get to it. So the knowledge thing was, there's two things that can go for the leader. He's going for character. Now, it's difficult for us to have a whole episode about how to build your character. But how you can do that is the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself.
And how often you ask yourself those quality questions.
And are you asking yourself quality questions? And are you willing to answer the questions? Now we get to knowledge again. So what is knowledge? Everyone feels knowledge is based at a certain institute, a certain place. It's also attached most of the time to a certain caliber, degree. People use that word also nowadays loosely, or your grades. But there's also knowledge, and as we know, out there. As you, and this is the one of my favorite episode was the second episode when you were talking about this is the information age.
Yeah.
Like, how can you not?
It's so freely available.
Like, how's your recent month been with just upskilling, like in terms of using Canva, using TikTok, using Opus Clip, using AI, just using?
For me, it's first of all, I'm enjoying it. So before it was very stressful because
tedious also, yeah.
Stressful and tedious because you don't know, you don't know where you're at. So now I just find myself playing around with stuff at night until midnight. So I'm really enjoying it, and I found that the more that I enjoy it, the better that I actually become at certain of these things. But definitely, to answer your question, it's in the application. It's in actually doing the stuff, trying the stuff, being willing to make something that's not so quiet, and then acknowledging, okay, this wasn't quiet, but let me try again.
And we're going to change words like willing to awareness, being aware of something.
Being aware.
So my influence goes 2020. Everybody eats a little rock. I'm an educator and I want to influence. So how do you increase your influence? It's said with knowledge and experience. We're not going to speak about experience because experience, everybody under the sun feels that experience is how old you are. I was a professional sportsman. They will tell you that Bry's experience just because he's older. Unfortunately for me, I was the tender age of 27 when I got the taste of being a professional. So, obviously there's somebody that's he's professional since the age of 18. I'm 1 year professional, but I'm older than the person. So experience is tough in many sense of the word, but experience is not how old you are, is what you learn by every day you are in that career, occupation. And I always use this example, and I know it's like a deep example, but most people that you find are homeless are very old people. Right? And also most people that you find on the streets that don't learn by their decisions is people that don't learn from their experiences. So yes, it can be circumstantial, but it's your experiences that you need to learn from. And most successful people, if not all, will accredit successes to learning from your experiences. So I love watching my 14-year-old millionaires, 13-year-old, and showing how they are learning from the previous generation's experiences. So I'm not even only talking about yours. Like, how are we not learning about the previous generation's experiences? This is what I'm learning. 2020, I ate John C. Maxwell up, I ate Jim Rohn up, I ate all these people up, and I'm like, how are you not teaching this to the people at school? Imagine you gave me this at school. My mouth would almost been on another level already. Are you mad? We put Magna Carta now. I've literally been teaching affiliate marketing all week to the kids. Where are we going to teach affiliate marketing? What do? I tell them, give me any design. The one I just saw today. Calvin Klein. I'm like, kyk for Calvin Klein. It's Calvin Klein, but anyway.
Calvin Klein nog.
Ek lag met jy. Ja, ek sê nie vir jou, maar nou kyk jy. Ons het just approved you. Pa, Calvin Klein, scroll to the bottom. Say, look there, affiliate program. Click. Pa, my boy, sign up. Be a part of something. We've been selling things for people forever. Now, it's not the thing of him selling something. It is the principle of him understanding that affiliate market means a commission given to a third-party person. Huh? Yes, you're a third party. Who are you now? You're nobody. So, knowledge, adding knowledge. Let's talk about this. So, I want to do influence. I get all these people. How do I influence? I find this thing, and I'm sure all of us sitting there at home, this is not an ad on YouTube that we see go on, sign up to Mind Valley. You can check it as a Mind Valley, bro. I took all that master classes. And this is where I couldn't find my 2021 diary. I'll bring it next week because I want to show the birth of the podcast. I think that's also important. Like, it was birthed in 2021. A masterclass with Brian Rose, 3 hours. How do you build this? Focus on your topics, focus on your values. Who's your 100 true fans? And that's it's the only thing we're focusing on. Like, this is not a broad spectrum, check how many likes, how many views. We're just looking for our first 100 true fans. That's all. Just 100 people. So that 100 people, that's actually 100 families. That's going to definitely have a generational blessing because you're going to be talking about this nonsense. And you're going to be talking about, if you want to influence something, then go find knowledge. Knowledge was free. Mind Valley, they did a whole course. They called it the inner game. It said passion, purpose, and practicality because I wanted to increase my influence. Because we can't only be talking about the same things around the fire. all the time. Like, yo, let's not talk about somebody not understanding who Vusi Tembakwayo is. Pauses for the dramatic effect.
That is crazy.
In this day and age, you are like when you said something the other day. In 2024, I love that. So I'm saying, in 2024, how do you, as a, I have it here, how do you, as a artist, a musician, an entrepreneur, a health enthusiast, somebody's fighting with their mental health, somebody that works in administration, somebody in education, how do you not, in 2024, work on yourself? How do you not go into studying parenting?
It's like you're trying to pour into your cup is not even full, but you're trying to pour into another cup. And I was thinking about this earlier, I was thinking to myself, that is also where burnout comes. Because now your cup is not full because you're not actually sharpening your own soul. You're not filling your own cup in terms of investing in yourself as far as upskilling yourself, like you're mentioning. So your ability to then influence is limited as well. And what I was also thinking now is listening to, I'm thinking about what is also the intention of your influence. Because people, like we all live in a world where there are a lot of influences. But what is the intention of your influence? Why do you want to influence? Are you aware that you are influencing? Whether you are doing it intentionally or not. Are you aware that you are influencing it? And if you are aware that you are influencing, what is the intention of your influence? Because if you are aware, then you held more responsible for your influence as well.
The words of Joey Jacobs, you will be tested on everything that comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So, sorry, with, and this is what I did. Free thing in again, downloaded the pages again. So again, leader, ladder, louder. Very simple principle to understand the law of influence. Leader, ladder, louder. I understood that I'm a leader in my educational sphere, my home, my sporting, my mental health. I understood that. Ladder, what steps, I want to be loud, what steps am I going to do to improve myself in those spheres? So I thought, okay, improve this. So, listen to all these nice questions. What moved you to create a coaching business? Because I wanted to influence people. So I thought, okay, if this is me becoming a sports coach, by the way. I was coaching boys, my boys at Cedar, at the school. So under 18s, under 16s, under 14s. Also, I would take boys to university to play against Stellies and to play against UWs. Crazy. There's boys that have graduated. Because I took them just for a friendly. Hey, shout out to you, Pulazini, for making that decision. Standing with that lighty, like, you can go to city, take this Stellies thing. I'm going to take the Stellies thing. I think we are on, 5 years later, maybe? That boy's got a degree. I know there's 3 or 4 of them that I put in UWs now, playing in there. Shout out to you, Shukur. So it's real. And this was me wanting to become a better coach on the field. So finding out more of the mental game. So let me go study life coaching. What moved you to coaching? How are you going to build systems and processes to support your coaching? Need to start a page, need to create a curriculum, little bit of marketing. So I came across this thing called the Johari window. And the crazy thing, ladies and gentlemen, I do this with the kids. You don't know, they're never going to do this in the mainstream vibes. So the Johari window says your open self, what others know about you, and you know too. Right? So I wrote, I'm a footballer, educator, I take long, I care. My blind self, what others know about you, but you don't know about yourself. Then you have your hidden self, what others don't know about you, but you do. And then your unknown self, what others don't know about you, and you don't know either. Crazy. And understanding this was understanding that psychological influence of environment. What influenced you to be this way, but not impact you going forward? And that is what these principles do for you. It increases your influence because you're going to have more way, again, identifying your strengths. Where do you see your growth and awareness in? What key questions do you feel that you were asked that sparked your growth?
Key questions that I was asked that sparked my growth. I think it's more like I don't know. I think I'm more of someone who asks questions. When I'm in.
Can I pull this back? 1 minute. What key scriptures sparked the growth?
So key scriptures for me, there are few, but
The law of influence.
definitely Proverbs. I'm gonna go to Proverbs. Right, so I can't remember the exact scripture, but there's a verse in Proverbs where it basically where Solomon says that a wise man seeks many counsels. So that's why I'm very intentional about surrounding myself or getting into the vicinity of people who I perceive to be wiser than myself in specific spheres and where I perceive the intention to be good.
Okay.
So I get into these spheres and I try to absorb from them and learn from them. But that's one scripture that I stick to. And then another one is I try not to. I'm a very reflective person, so the kind of questions that I ask myself is, okay, like, are you doing enough? How bad? What do you really want out of this life? Like, what do you want to be remembered for? How do you want to look back on your life? Do you want to look back and think that you could have done more, that you could have been more, but it's too late? Will you be willing to live with that regret? Are you willing to be the average guy? Are you willing to just be another normal person? So those are the kind of questions for me that spark or that push me to just be different and to do more. It's really that, so I don't know, someone said that sometimes fear can be good, but it's a fear of the average man. And it's the fear of the norm. So I know that for a fact that even though I might not have everything together right now, I'm definitely not the average person. I don't think average, and I'm definitely not the normal person. So for me, it's like, how do I constantly keep being uncommon amongst uncommon?
And in the real world influence, and I was speaking about different spheres of life, like the arts, and then I put together some examples, and because I see it, man. I see it with my friends that do art. When I say art, I have to put this all in that box. The graffiti brothers, the paint brothers, the design brothers, like everybody in that art sphere. Like, art is not just what you create, but it's how you inspire others to create.
Yeah, that's a crazy one.
And that is, look, I'm only giving you the stuff straight from John. Please don't shoot me, all the art people. Like, I know it's tough, but this is what I've seen is missing. I've literally seen this is missing, and I say, and it's not just in your industry, in every single industry, I always say this: come stand in front of the children. Come stand in front of the children, and you teach. Just feel how lekker it is for a child to ask you a question. And what I have picked up is that there's a lot of red tape to getting to speak to the kids. So holla at your boy, but you have to find that way to connect. You have to find that way to connect, because that's what's missing. This is what we had a parent seminar on the weekend, and this is what we spoke about, the connection. And then this is not a tangent. This is to influence parents, because this is why I got into education and studying parenting at the moment. Is our children are acting out their emotions in this generation at the moment.
They're living with their emotions. They're constantly in a state of just acting.
So yes, they're constantly in a state of acting. That's potent. So they're constantly in a state of acting. So they're acting out of their emotions. So this is from Gabo Mate. So he explains that we know our children influence our lives. So when they are acting out, then what do? We actively go out to rectify the behavior. Because we know that's what we can influence. But you also have an influence on something more powerful, which is the child's emotions. And that is what they're actually trying to display. The kids of this generation are acting out their emotions, ladies and gentlemen, because they don't have the words. Because the words is here. And unfortunately, if you're not going to take the time out, yes, you can take the thing away. But then you're going to have to do this more.
Yeah, you're going to have to
You're gonna
supplement it.
You're going to have to supplement that thing, right? Or supplement it with things, right? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all are busy. Like, it's not a thing. I'm not pounding you. I don't have more time than you. You have 26 hours in the day.
Sure, I wish.
How much do you have?
24.
Is it?
Yeah, sometimes feel like 20.
Yours sounds feel like 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all have 24. It is scientifically proven. And again, Mr. Malcolm Gladwell, you know in that man hit you with a study. It's 25 years of study. Our time spent with each other, this is now spousal, all right, is that time. That's why the divorce rate is so high. Because of time cut with spousal. Because now the time cut with children is even shorter. Because guess what? Did you not notice the school day was made longer? I distinctly remember coming home, I was 2 in primary school. Distinctly.
It's crazy because it's almost like from Chris, you slowly program to give more and more of your day to a system. It's crazy. Yo.
Malcolm Gladwell, bro, again. NASA and Malcolm Gladwell studies.
Systematic approach.
15,000 children
Yeah.
go to school. Here is a paperclip. I spoke this on the podcast. Here's a paperclip. How much designs you can make with it? 5 years old, this paperclip, it's an anchor for a ship. It's a imagination. Every child come up with more than 500 ways for this thing. 10 years later, they come up with 250 years. They're 15 years old, they come up with 50 ways. They test them when they're 25 years old, some of them can't even come up with 5 ways. They only know how to use the paperclip. The only thing that happened to them was school. Now, you also have influence because you can't compound all the blame on the school and the system. And I'm not here to blame the system. This is not a systematic bash. This is what influence do you have on that time? And that's what's important to understand. Studies show we have less time with our children. You can't do quantity time anymore. You have to literally do quality time.
I think it's something that we mentioned yesterday is why we're questioning credibility when we should be questioning involvement. It's something we literally mentioned yesterday in one of our meetings. Yeah.
Like you questioning credibility. This system of the school has been around for 200 years and you can't question the credibility of it. You come from it. How are you influencing it? And ladies and gentlemen, to all my parentals out there, stop fearing homework because you had to teach the stuff in COVID. It's literally not that way anymore. We are back to normal because when your child gets homework, it's stuff that was taught at school that possibly don't understand, so they need to do extra practice.
I was thinking about something earlier on, and it ties into the generation that we are, because unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, I am part of that generation.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we are so overstimulated, man.
Bro.
That when we're not stimulated, then our minds, it's fidgety and it's irritated and it's... Like just before, as I was preparing for the podcast, I was thinking, and that's why I didn't come with a whole lot of notes this evening. Because I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to... This last 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm just going to go through everything and I'm just going to write down all my notes. And then I realized that my brain isn't going just like this. And the moment I paused and I stopped, then that's actually where I realized, the overstimulation, it's And the thing is for the lighty, who doesn't have emotional intelligence, how do they deal with it?
So now we go. What do? They act out their emotions. Are we getting there, ladies and gentlemen? Kabumate, the game of charades. What must you do? You must act out. If you're hungry, what must you do? Our children are literally living in a foreign land.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because, and this is influence in that sphere, right? People are living in a foreign land. If you are not able to connect with them, you are going to lose them.
And connect with him on a sincere level.
Yes. Because that is again acting out. What is acting out? Like again, Kabumate. Acting out is a perpetuation of your emotions, not behavior. You have to obviously do something. I must do this so that you can see I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Now guess what you're doing when I do this? You go, don't do that. Why are you doing that by your mouth? I'm trying to tell you I'm hungry, bro.
So what else must I do? Must I go now?
What else must I do? So look into the emotion, ladies and gentlemen. How do you influence the emotion? We spoke about the artist. The art is not only what you create, it's how you inspire others. I literally saw this guys in Stellenbosch making a lot of African print, and I was like, yo, how clever you guys. You know how that inspires others. And I was just using that. And I'm like, yo, you're not even from that culture.
I think that in today as well, art has been made. I was thinking about this thing, pedestal art. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
It's pedestal art because what art in itself is supposed to be a form of expression. That is why art is supposed to be for everyone.
Yep.
Because everyone has something to express.
And something to inspire.
And something to inspire.
And that's what they're missing. Like, and again, if it's activist painting and you want to inspire a certain emotion, then inspire that emotion. But again, they do it as it inspire others to create. What is it inspiring others to create? Because that's what influence. Let's talk about music a bit. So, again, great musicians, they don't just play the notes. And I have this thing because I can't sing, I can't dance. No, I can't dance. I can't sing, I can't play instrument, but I feel. I have a Quincy, an eclectic ear for the music. So, what I feel is that I always see great musicians that play great instruments, but I very rarely see great musicians that can create a collaboration. This is why I love shout out to you, Sean de Vries. Greatest man who's always there, standing with the guitar, putting all emo, Lukman them. The way he creates a collaboration for them. That, I mean, I wonder how long do you think emo and Lukman is going? 30, 40 years? I don't know how long goes into this, but I mean, and consistently. Lachball, definitely. Entertaining, definitely. Without fail, from Cape to Cairo, without fail, because they are great musicians. They know how to create a symphony of collaboration. And this is the difference. Influence. Where does your influence go? We have so many great bands in Cape Town. But it boils down to your level of influence again. And your level of influence, you go like, does your band lead by position? We're the best band. If you're starting anything from wanting to be the best, you're already in trouble. Because Kom Bom, Pele's gone, Maradona's gone, football is still around, and they were the best. So just to let you know, don't aim for being the best. Aim to be the most inspirational, the most motivational, the most influenced. And so, John C. spoke about this book in the 80s, and then in the 2000s, what is this term that we have with the word influence? And it's not influenza. It was so freak funny. I remember my grade 8 kids had
Fluminense.
The kids write the kids say the darndest things, eh? One of the questions was, what is flu? What is the correct word for flu? The people came with egg stuff, and one of the football kids obviously came with a Fluminense. I love it. I appreciate that than leaving it out. I always say that. So yeah. No?
Yeah.
So again, what's the term now? An influencer. Because leadership. influencer, like everything makes sense. They literally take the term and create a occupation around it. And it's literally saying leader. That's all it's saying. When I see any influencer, that's all I think. I think leader. You're an influencer leader. That's why some influencers like, you don't understand, brah. You don't understand leadership.
You don't understand
You
don't understand the ripple effect of the things you say. And this is the problem that I have with.
Oh, it's my bigger. It's my gripe one. It's my gripe one for this all this podcast. Like, if there's anything I can say, like the law of influencer.
Sure.
Leadership is nothing more than nothing less. Like, you are a leader, my bro. Kyk hoe gaan ze aan.
And influence is like a seed, because the thing is, it doesn't just go. It stays there. It lingers.
It's like this. 100%. It lingers like leadership. My bro. Come on, man. So I can't. Me. Ooh. Yes, and I know all of you guys say scroll net voorbij. I just need quiet see. But I'm like concerning because I'm building for the children I don't know. So like, what you building for? Like, I like the influencer that now I'm influenced to make the mensen lag. Yeah, you lag. I grade my brasse in the woodmanskap. You have sarcasm. You make you lag. Shout out to Salvina. These make you lag. But there's some people you now want to lag buzz, then you want to hate buzz, then you want to beef, then you want to pasta, then you somehow love the world, then you want the politics, then you chirping the mensen, then you somehow a family man, then like all these people that go boss.
Yes, you definitely don't have like a anchor or a core, because what are you standing for if you just go?
Values? What's values?
Yeah.
What's your values? Because if you have your values, then you know what you're adding onto people. And that's my thing, like it's crazy. And then I look at the likes and like how many people is actually loving this. Sometimes I jump into the comments and I'm like, yo, it's tough. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we took the leap, like eagles out of a nest, to do this. And hopefully there will be 100 people that will go and start sharing. Check out the TikTok. Thank you for the more than 500 views on all the short clips and the reposts and so forth. That there's value being shared. And people's going like, yeah, man. Beautiful feedback we got, like, yo, Fagan, it was so brilliant. Like, tell me what book I must buy. I'm like, yo. And it was, must I buy the book or download the PDF? I'm like, buy the book. You'll never experience something like that ever again in your life. Person bought the book, sent me a message like, yo, Fagan, really? I said, I don't smell. Get you a bookmark. Lekker. A book, man? Huh? Really? We influence someone to buy a book in 5 weeks. Guess what? Job done. Job done. In 5 weeks, to influence someone to buy 7 habits of these highly successful people. That's what he bought. I know he's going to be better. Guaranteed. And seeing that I'm on the I know, that's what I know. I know that young man, Ethan Brown. Shout out to you, young man, for jumping on all the podcasts. And he's one of the 100 true fans. I said, man, that message today already. Are you on tonight? I'm like, yo, it's a thing. Yes.
It's a thing.
We're there, bruh. That man needed. That is his fuel. This influences his week. Huh? Hoeveel jy? With greater responsibility comes great power. You can influence that man now. Indoctrinate or let that man flourish. What can I do? We're not here to give advice. He did ask for advice. I was like, no. We're not here for advice. You take what was there, you take there what influenced you, you package it for yourself, and then you cap on, my bro. Cap on. It's like, nah, potent. What do you want to do?
That's mad. I'm thinking now, as you're speaking, Matthew 9, which says, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few.
Sure.
So what the laborers is actually supposed to, the laborers is talking about those who will take the responsibility. The harvest is the power or the influence. Are you with me?
Okay.
But you have to, it's because we're always talking about with great power comes greater responsibility. So automatically, what the narrative becomes is that I first need to have the power to then be responsible. But the reality in real life is you first need to be responsible for you to obtain the power.
It's like saying you need money to start a business. You don't need money. You need a market. Last week's summit, best script given. So here we still at influence. So I want to influence the world of trading as an entrepreneur. Look here, fully commit. I'll show you. Okay, that's here. But shout out to Cindy for making all of this. Yes, Cindy. I bloody, need to go roll off everything, paste it in order. So when I'm teaching the people, I'm like on a level here because in business, influence is your currency. Do you know what's the best currency? To remain current. So how is it if you walk into a room and you're not able to articulate the situation that everybody's in right now? Can you influence a situation that you know nothing about?
Are you aware of the current trend?
Are you aware of the current trend or are you just looking at the bar graph? Huh? Where do you find yourself spending, question, where do you find yourself spending your time wisely?
I'll be honest, ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yes, I spend a lot of time on ChatGPT because I ask it questions and then I reflect on what it's giving me. And so I spend a lot of time ChatGPT and I spend a lot of time conversating with people who I can learn something from.
The gym? Would you throw the gym in there?
Do I spend a lot of time in the gym? I spend, like, if you're talking about a lot of time, like the most time I'm going to spend in the gym is 2 hours. I don't need to spend more than 2 hours
Or you
in
just
the
do
gym.
your thing and
Like,
do your thing, do a client, weg.
Yeah, like my clients, even I don't really train my clients in the gym. I train my clients more on a one-on-one basis. Like, but there was a time where I used to spend 4 hours in the gym. Last year, I literally spent 4 hours in the gym, and it's not 4 hours lumming in the gym. It's 4 hours. But I realized, like we said earlier on, like there are more pressing things. I had to find that balance. So the gym is still important. Exercising is still important to me, but it's important for its role in my life. And there's different spheres that I need to feed. There's a spiritual sphere. There's a mental sphere. There's a social sphere.
Yeah.
And there's a physical sphere.
Yeah.
Right? So I realized that in order for you to develop and grow holistically, you need to be sharpening the saw on all those fronts. You need to be sharpening all of those spheres. Right? You can't just be focusing on the physical sphere. In fact, I recently took a bit of a backstep with the physical because I realized, when I say took a backstep, I don't mean I stopped, but I realized I was putting too much emphasis on that, and then that was becoming my identity.
So,
And my thing always was, and it's the same reason like before, I had a huge afro and I cut it because I realized that afro became my identity, and I grew the afro out in the first place because I wanted me to be my identity regardless of that. That's why I grew the hair out. Then the hair became my identity, and then I cut it. So my point is that I don't want to be identified by one thing because we are holistic beings.
100%. We are holistic spirits.
We are holistic spirits, yeah.
With the holistic spirits, and this I was speaking about, is the knowing and the believing. And I was hitting the kids with all of this because they're so empowering for me when I was hitting everybody with, no, you believe in your creator. But you don't know him. But the mere fact that you have the power to believe in something that doesn't exist is the mere fact that you have the responsibility to act on it.
To get to know.
So, because you then believe, because you don't know. You know your mommy, you know your daddy. This was a potent Instagram clip. And but with you know your mother, you know your father. Right? That's most right. You don't believe in him, but you don't know the creator. You believe in the creator. But the mere fact that you have the power of belief is also something you must act on.
Yes.
So that shows we are all spiritual beings. Because the water is all the same color unless you pour it into different cups. You're only going to see the color of the cups, but the water is always going to taste the same. We all just hold it to different color cups, bro, with the same spirits.
Yeah.
So, influence. If you don't understand how to influence, here's a nice one for you. Lift others up.
Serve. Oh,
People don't like it word. I saw it.
serve.
I don't like it. And I saw I think, I know, look, I don't think the school motto, the enter to learn, leave to serve. I do the enter to learn, leave to lead. Because serve is, lift. That's why, lift off.
People don't like the word serve.
People don't like serve, people don't like the word
Because
change.
I think the reason people don't like the word serve, it is because it's they put themselves on a pedestal. That like to serve is to be humble.
Yes, not to be subordinate.
That people don't want to be
Insuperior.
subordinate. Yes.
Yeah, insuperior.
No. It's like someone asked me the other day, so didn't you come up with lift? Why are you at the back of the poster? And I'm like, I laughed because in my mind I'm like, that's the level of the thinking, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the level of the thinking. Anyway, so
Serve, bro.
Matthew 20 verse 26, right? Remember the play that we did, Last Supper, early on in the year, Easter.
Yes.
So there's a
This was Jesus, played by Daniel Nevenezer.
Dalion. So there was a part there, or there's a part where the disciples are now asking Jesus, okay, who amongst us is the greatest? And he tells them, the one who serves. The one who serves the rest of you. That is the greatest. And then I'm thinking to myself that to serve, to influence is to serve.
Yes.
But how are you serving? How are you serving your generation? Because Pastor Robbie's big on this thing now. He's like, serve your generation. Serve your generation. Serve in your generation.
Service to others is very important. And because with the deal of service is when you serve, you teach. And for me, always serving creates, and this is what, to spark and to be an influencer, you must ignite curiosity and passion in others. Because people should always be, why are you serving? Like, you don't need to serve. Why do you serve? Why do you keep on serving? And we're going to move away from the word serve, because like we said, people fear the word to serve. But it means to lift others up, to be the hand up, not always just the hand
Out.
there we go. And this is important, to serve. Why to serve? So that I can influence. But now again it comes back to, you don't influence always from the top. You might be somebody that just influence because of your transformational leadership. I love a quiet leader. That always used to irk me. When we play teams and then the captain is this quiet brother, don't talk and don't shout. You just lead by example. I always used to come with one of that. Maar hier, Davids. Maya. I'm checking this one. How can this man be the captain? This man, and don't talk. Nothing. You only knock. My favorite Ajax player ever. Shafiq Gandhi Arendse. What a gem of a player. He saw you yesterday already when he get the ball.
Sure.
No talk, calm, a little bit, not even probably a man on. Nice. And then I had the privilege of, we played together at Santos, we were both at the end of our, but you're the person, man, crazy. Beautiful player, influential. And you know why influential? Because all the footballers watching out there now and hearing that name, they're all saying, nah, what a guy. We're not talking about brand, but that's the level of influence. That people will always go, nah, that man, potent. And at his stints, I remember went to Tux, he had a tough injury, but how he just ignited himself as a leader. everybody was like, who's this bruh? Who's this bruh? So different leaders influence things in different ways. You don't always need to be the loudest in the room. Nelson Mandela, speak last. I'm like, you're Nelson, really? Best word of advice. Speak last. It's like, you're Nelson, could you come with of all the things you could have said? So, I want to ask you something. I don't want to say best leader you've worked under. Most influential leader.
Definitely the most influential leader for me, and I'm not just saying it because he's my spiritual dad, but it has to be Apostle Josie. And the reason for it that I say that is the most influential.
Because I want to talk about the we were now, and I know because we talk about now the character.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, a lot
because
of the...
sorry to break with before you start, this is something that people, like, there is character traits that you have to have. So yeah.
Yeah, there is character traits. So for me, a lot of the times where you have someone who is as influential, you know, you always speak about the aura, you can just feel. Like, I was telling the kids this a couple of weeks ago, is that everyone has an internal compass that can kind of direct us towards what is true. Like you were saying, the other people, earlier on, people are not stupid.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So we all have a compass, internal compass, that can kind of tell us, okay, this person, truth. You know what I mean? The compass, depending on how you are inclined and what you condition to and what you kind of expose yourself to.
You up, yeah.
You know what I mean? But generally we all have that compass that points us to truth. And a lot of the times, when you come across someone like Dad, right? You can be very intimidated because, you know, he's your apostle. How you can't just...
the means is calling him Dad, remember?
Yeah, like he's your apostle.
I didn't told you, how did I feel? I'm like, what must I say?
People are shy to shake his hand because...
I'm like, must I also say Dad? What must I do?
But the thing is, talking about the character is like, he's approachable, man. So, the reason I say he's the most influential leader that I've worked under is because I have access to him. I can communicate with him. I can ask him a question if I have something that's on my mind or if I have a thought and he's going to give his perspective on it. He's not just going to read the message and leave it. So there's that proximity that I value as to why I would say he's the most influential.
Coming back to Mr. Mills. So we do this Mind Valley thing and minds changed every year. All the time. Like, it's so crazy. Every year there's 3 people, I think, like, here we go. And I don't think it's about navigating along, and I don't think it's about, it's nice to, I mean, yeah, like, I'm in and around someone who I have on that list of, I have it on my PC, yeah, I can click on it, the people I have to contact every day, the leadership people, daily check-in. Yeah, and it changes all the time. I don't want to mention them, but there's people that have taken off the list, that were there, that were taken off. And it's not to hold anything against them, but this is what leadership is, this is what navigation is, this is what that compass is. And to learn from this experience, because we spoke about knowledge and experience, so learning from all those experiences, taking everything from those leaders, what was important, what wasn't important, what creates influence, how didn't they influence, what was influence negative, what influence positive. I was showing you when we were driving, seeing that we're talking about people that influence me, because I don't allow the external world to influence me. I was showing you my WhatsApp statuses. Because, I don't know, I saw Jetsvanger always put potent statuses out. So I saw you put the potent status out there. And then I was like, nah, this is someone I follow. And then we got into the conversation about how people make statuses to influence that somebody else see the status. And I was like, nah, I don't get into that conversation. And then I was like, okay, let's look at my statuses. And unfortunately, maybe you even out there thought that every time I saw you, was like, I have him, I have Jitsvanger, I have Mo Prester Print, shout out to Prester Print opposite the road. I have Jovan, who he really pop up, even he also put status. Kim and my dad, I don't even have my brother. The rest of the people, probably you. There we go. Lekker. Probably a klomp still scroll. There's about 350, 380 other people that are muted, as they say. That's the level of influence. Like, do you sit and scroll all the time? Pauses for dramatic effect. I am your friend. Just be honest, man. Don't love other people's lives. Don't let it influence you. Don't. Because you are allowing it to influence you. You want to end off, sir?
Perceived value is received value. You can only ever receive what you can perceive. Whether it is in an interaction or you can only really, your perception will limit what you are able to receive. So the reason I'm saying that is because if you're watching the podcast and you're seeing this, you will only be able to receive the value you perceive that it has. Skadoosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Lift of Leadership podcast. And before we go, this episode was sponsored by 100%. Shout out to you, Dane, and 100%, ladies and gentlemen. Instagram. See you next week.